Hey everybody, welcome to this week's feedback critique. Having kind of a rough day today. My car died and AC died and it was 97 degrees. So, yeah, ran a little bit late. Okay, let's just get through our wonderful critique because, your image is so exciting. Okay, so let me just put myself out of the way here. And just make this a little bit smaller. There we go. Okay, let's go to the first person that turned in, which is Joshua. And Joshua, great post. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. And I love your poster too. And that smoke ritual, that's so cool. So I'm going to go to your folder in just a second. So you got some great feedback. Oh, everyone is so proud of you. Great. Okay, let's go to Joshua's folder. Here we go. And Joshua. Okay, so hold on just a moment here. I think that's going to be too big for my screen. So I'm just going to do this. There we go. That's a little better. Let's see how busy I am up there. It's insane. Okay, I like this detail shot. I like seeing the clarity on the football, the texture in the background. For me, I probably would have made this a vertical image, but I'm pleased with it. There's so much texture in there, and I think it's really good. And then this one, oh, let's come back to that. Okay, this one is just stellar. How you made all that yellow gold, it's like a yellow orange, really pop. And I can see expressions, and like I said before about this image, we follow along the pattern. But really good. And everyone in the background is nicely faded out, but it's that pop of color that's really standing out to me right here. And then this one, we got a nice sharp figure in motion and moving against the background. For this one, I think I would have straightened the line, but it is an action shot, so that's really up to your interpretation. And your cut and paste, wow, I am just, this is amazing. And I can see why you're so proud of it. It's really good. And I have to wonder, like, is this, when you did your photo shoot with the players, this is their normal, like they have a tinted base plate, I'm not sure what to call that, on the helmet. And then mouthpiece, so we can't see these characters at all, but we can see one of their numbers, and then this guy is the superstar. I love the fade that you did. The fade is awesome. And then this background picture is really good too, so we can see the playing field. And then you did some letter design, and that looks awesome too. Okay, so really incredible work, Joshua. Nice work. Okay, so let's go back to next person. And the second person that turned in was Ellis. Okay, so here's Ellis. And took some pictures around his home and backyard. Raw files, you know, aren't they just incredible? I mean, you'll never go back. Ever, ever, ever. And then I love that you were able to insert one of your favorite characters into your cut and paste. So these XMP files are, and you said, you know, that's not really a great way to share your images. The XMP is actually a sidecar file. So it accompanies your original file and it goes, you know, it orders itself next to it. And that just has like whatever you've done. Even if you've just opened it, it adds the sidecar file. So those ones we can't really view. But inconvenient file type, yeah. So I'm going to open each one of your images from your folder. And I was amazed. So let's take a look. Hold on a second. Okay, so here's Ellis's first file. And I can tell by the extension down here on this file name, CR2, that's a Canon RAW file. So if I double click, it will automatically open up into Camera Raw. And so I can see that you've taken a RAW file, but you haven't done any editing on this one. So, you know, you can have lots and lots of fun in here. And I think you've done some editing on some of your other images, so we can see that. Yeah, you can play around in here all day long, I swear. If you hit cancel, it will just go back to the original. If you hit done, it will just save the file as is. If you hit open, it will open it in Photoshop. So, just going to do done. And we'll go to the next and see it made a little XMP just as I opened it. All right, next one. Let's open it. And this is also beautiful colors in this image. And I don't think you really did any editing here either, but we're coming to that. Let me get a little sidecar. And this one as well. However, this one, I notice that there's some clipping here. And clipping is when some aspect of the photo has been like overdone. So in this photo, you see, okay, so we've got blue here in the histogram. Here we've got blue, 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 and we need to know how to fix that. So those are like shadow details that have been lost due to clipping. Okay, so we can recover those. It's either going to be shadows. Shadows helps a little, not really. It must be blacks. Oh yeah, see how that gets crazy? Way overdone. Okay, but if we reduce the blacks and we bring a little bit of light in there, then we don't have any more clipping. So we're all even Steven up here. And then to keep that edit, you're just going to want to click open to open it in Photoshop. Okay, I'm going to click done so it doesn't save anything. I don't want to do your editing for you. And then this one is also a raw file. And I don't see editing with this one, but there is some clipping. Do you see that? So let's try and bring up our blacks. Okay, there is so much that can be done with this photo. It's a little dark, as you can see. So we can bring up the exposure. Oh, there it brings back little buddy with the mustache. And I don't know if I maybe went too far because I love seeing the color in the blurred out areas, you know, the background, the bokeh dots. We love those. So you can play with this a little bit here and there. I'd probably increase the clarity. Maybe vibrance. Maybe saturation. But definitely the clarity is fun, isn't it? I had a professor who was my main professor for my MFA, and she said, never go higher than 9. Which I thought, you know, yeah, okay. Can if I want to. I'm taking the highlights down. Lifting up those shadows. And let's see. So it's really, you can play with it and just see what the effect of each slider is. But I really like that. He's still backlit, but gorgeous. Okay, so you can play with these kind of things too. How cool the image is, or how warm. Kind of like that. And then tint is changing the color, so going more purple or more green. I think more green works for this image. So, I mean, like I said, you can play. But I think we need a little bit more light in this image. It brings out the whiskers and the eyes. And real quick, I want to show you something. Okay, so this is masking. With the masking, you can select the subject and it will automatically just mask the subject. And so you can just play around with that. And I know you can't see it really well when it's all red, but as soon as you click on a slider, the mask disappears. And here this is telling us that there's a mask. This is a selection tool. So this one's the heal tool. This is if we wanted to get rid of something. Like say you wanted to get rid of this area right here. Yeah, kind of fades, but I don't really like it. So, so I'm just hitting Control to get rid of that. So I can go back and get rid of anything that I've done. Let me just see if I can get rid of this. Let's see. Not going to let me. So I might need to dismiss everything. Oh, that was before, and this is after. Isn't that cool? You can see that. Alright, so we've got a mask that we tried. We could add more light, we could add more color. There's so many things that we can do in Camera Raw. So, I'm just going to hit done. Actually, I'm going to hit cancel. And get rid of all the changes that I made. And so you are free to edit on your own. And then this one is also a raw file. So I can double click on it, open it up in Camera Raw. And as far as changes go, I don't see where you've done any changes on this one either. So you could bring down the exposure, you could raise it up. Still have some great clarity on this image. And, you know, lots of things to play with in here. So thank you for sharing that raw file with us. And like I said again, CR2 is a raw file extension. Okay, so I'm going to cancel. Cancel any changes. Yes. Okay, now let's look at your... This is actually a Photoshop file. And you said it's Ray Enemy. Okay, sorry I'm not familiar with the anime, but if we look here and we go in closer to Ellis's image, what I love that you've done is you have created a reflection. Just like everything else in the image, there's reflections. You created a very soft reflection of your character, and I just adore that. The difference between the clarity of the image that you copied in to your background is very different. So that would be a layer. So this layer is your reflection. Not sure what that layer is. Okay, here's your girl. That's her layer. So before you move a layer into another one, you might want to check things like image size. So image size. And it says that your background image is 56 by 42, 72 resolution. That's very low. If you want the highest resolution, go to, you just kind of highlight this and replace it with 300. That will be our highest resolution. And then you can reduce the file size by changing the inches. So if you change one aspect with their height, like say I just want it to be an 8 by 10. So that's pretty close, right? You would have to crop it with an 8 by 10 crop tool to get it perfect. So I'll show you that. So when you go to crop tool, there's a bunch of options in here. 8 by 10, if you want to crop it to 8 by 10, then I'm going to minimize it. So that would be an 8 by 10 crop. And then, you know, you can move it. You can move it to the left or the right. You can move your crop tool like this, if you so desire. And make sure it lines up with the original image. Okay, and then you would just hit enter or return to crop. Okay, a few little quick tips there. I'm going to get rid of that crop tool. Minimize Photoshop. And I would have to say, excellent work, Ellis. I love that reflection. That is the best. Okay, let's go back to our next person. And it is Jess. Okay, hey Jess. You said you got confused, but then, you know, what you turned in is great. So we're going to look at these in just a moment. And you got some really nice feedback there. And there's your cut and paste. Great. Wow. So very nice. And I love how you're replying to everyone who's given you feedback. That's wonderful. And then Angela, I think she and I agree on your edits. Okay, so let's take a look at your. So I think that your donkey here, we've got so much more texture, so much more detail, like these little hairs and, you know, his little bangs and a little chin fur. He needs like some dermaplaning, right? To get rid of that fuzz. But it's really cute. And I appreciate the saturation and the clarity. And then this one, I think looks great as well. So nice clarity, nice warm colors. And we get to see that little highlight that I really love. It's so suggestive, isn't it? Okay, and then here is the one that you really made the sky dramatic. Although I really love this color, I think it takes away from your subject, which would be this building here. And, you know, we've got these leading lines to the sky. So it's like sky. So the sky is standing out more than anything. So I would take down the blues a notch. It's probably cyans. If you go to your hue saturation tool and you select a single color, it's not going to be blues. Blues isn't going to change it. It's the cyans. Cyans is like turquoise. Okay, so that will just take it down a notch. And that would be great. And then here is your cut and paste, which I think is really cool. You guys are way too young to know about Poltergeist, which was from a horror film from the 80s. But there was this little girl, I think she was 4, little blondie. And she was in this super scary movie, and then she got taken over by the monster and went into the TV. Anyway, it's a good movie, even though it's pretty dated. And that just reminds me of this little character, this little guy reaching out, or girl, not sure. And then you added these kind of red, glowy areas. So I really like that too, against the black and white. So I really appreciate this edit. Great job, Jess. And next person is going to be Tatum. Tatum, I hope you know about Tatum O'Neal and not just Channing Tatum. Tatum O'Neal was a famous child star in the 70s and then, you know, crossed over into the 80s, but great actress. I always loved her. So let's go to your folder, Tatum. And you got some really good feedback. Okay, let's take a look here. I'm going to go to Tatum. And her pups. Oh, so sweet. Okay, so this is before and after. So we can see that you straightened. We can see that you added a lot of saturation. And it looks like you increased the exposure or the brightness. So that works out really well. So nice edit on that one. This is Lola, I believe. I think. And then let's come back to that. Okay, so this is your before and your after. Actually, no, this is your before and this is your after. I'm so pleased to know that this is the after. Let's double click on it and see what you did here. Get rid of that crop tool. So you did a photo filter. Let's see what it looks like without that. So honestly, I'm really wondering, what photo filter did you use? Did you go up to filter? And maybe choose one of these things? I can't really tell, but I do note that with the filter, it is sharper, it is cooler. It has more detail and contrast. So do tell exactly what filter you chose there, because I would love to know. Because it looks great. No, save anything. So, yeah, this is quite lovely. It's not quite sharp. It's not tack sharp, of course, but it kind of lends itself to that dreamy quality, which I don't mind. Although I think I would increase the clarity a little more just to get some sharp edges. Okay, and then this is a before. Ooh, look at that texture. So delicate. And then we've got this edit, which is again very small. I want to kind of see what size your image is. So it's like you got a great resolution, very high resolution, but the image itself is so small. So we're just going to have to zoom in a little bit. I just do Command plus. You can do Control plus if you're on a PC. So group 1. So this doesn't tell me much. So this group 1 is some editing that you've done, but I can't tell exactly what. I can tell that, I mean, if I had to guess, you definitely saturated it really, really a lot. Oops, can't get rid of that. Can't get rid of the original. So the yellows and the oranges are crazy saturated. I think a little bit too much, honestly. They've almost become like otherworldly, you know. They're not of this earth. With that kind of glow, it's just, you know, it's kind of beyond. But I appreciate seeing your edits. No, not gonna save. And then let's go to your PDF file, which shows me that, I mean, I can tell that you've got, you know, this little dog, this little pup moved into the image, and I understand now that you told me that you saved as PDF, so it'll make it easier for people to open. I'm okay with that, but I hope you've saved it as an image file, because I'm going to need that. But, I mean, you fit this one in a very clever place. And I think for us, for this assignment, this is very good. I'll close that one. Okay, and we'll go back to our next person. And that is Kira. Okay, Kira, intimidating? I don't think so. I think you really stepped up and did a great job. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about your strep throat. But it's a good thing that your cat's visited. I hope it's feeling better. I hope you got some antibiotic. And I see that you chose one of the themes. See the world. Great. Okay, and all right, Kira got some nice feedback from Lorna and Danielle and Joshua and Angela. So that's awesome. Okay, so let's look at your folder. Oh, I was just like, when I saw this image. Wow. This is gorgeous. What a keeper. Okay, this needs to go into your final portfolio for sure. And so before, great, beautiful photo, lovely bokeh dots, but going in a little closer, you really hit it home. I love it. It's the best. It's really, really good. Okay, so let's see. Let's see, butter paws. This is so funny to me because look at those delicate little paws. They're so cute. And all the little hairs. And then your edit. It seems a little bit too bright to me. I mean, I understand why you would want to increase the exposure and have a little bit more light on the situation. But to me, this washes out some of the texture. So I would say go in between this one and this one. Not too much because we're losing a lot of detail here. I hope you see what I mean there. So I would go back to this image and just slightly edit it rather than going for, you know, what I see here is washed out highlights. Okay, and then it's a suitcase with a blanket. And here's the edit. Again, I think you went a little too overly bright. And we lost some detail. So I would suggest instead of increasing the brightness or the exposure, try increasing the contrast instead, and perhaps play around with saturation. And then this is Sasuke in Egypt. This is just so funny. So funny to me. Okay, because I teach art history, right? And here's Sasuke with this blanket at the pyramids in Egypt. Okay. So funny and well done. But this one, and this is Butter in Yellowstone. This one works a lot better for me. It's just the tones, you know, the colors. Butter fits really well. Being super close. I mean, maybe you couldn't really imagine him next to a buffalo. But, yeah, super cute. Okay, so great job, Kira. And we're going to go to the next person. And it is Danielle. Okay, Danielle. New pics. Whee! I'm so glad you're enjoying the editing. Yes, I understand. Cut and paste isn't easy at first. You gotta practice it. Okay. So let's take a look and see if you got any feedback from Tatum. Oh, I see what you mean there, Tatum. And Angela's giving you some compositional guidelines. Okay, let's take a look at your folder. And this is Danielle. So, let me just first say, I'm so happy that you got this little stray cat again. And we can see his whole body. And such great highlights. I would have loved to have seen the previous, the unedited, like some others have said, because this, it feels very warm. And I think I would have experimented a little bit with contrast and clarity. And that's something that you can still do. It's still a very nice photo, and I really appreciate seeing the whole cat. So glad you took that note. Okay, and this tree, and you tried it upside down. That's interesting. I have seen that too on Instagram. But, I like this image. It's, I like the color story. Can't quite tell if that's like land in the background. It looks like it because it really can't be water or be straight. But I like it. And then this one, some plants I think your mom, you said, was trying to grow. Very pretty. Very pretty. So I can tell you saturated the color quite a bit. I think that I would play around with saturating just red and magenta, and then not so much the green and yellow, so that we can get a little bit of difference here. That's just a contrast. Okay, and your mushroom. Wait. What's going on here? Hold on. So this is your digital negative file. Okay, I can tell by the extension. And if I click on this, yes, it opens up in Camera Raw. So that's one sure way to tell that it is a raw file. But DNG stands for digital negative. And I can see you did a little bit of editing here, so lovely. Great job getting a raw image. I'm going to cancel this. And hopefully you'll try some other editings with this image because I think it's great. Okay, and then here's your copy and paste. I like this image, and then this little button here over here just cracks me up because it's smaller. However, one thing I noticed that I believe you did was fix this up a little bit so that this would be in front of this. And that is really exceptional. And, honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell that this had been added in. So, don't sell yourself short. It's actually well edited. So good job, Danielle. And we're going to go to our next person. And that would be Lorna. Lorna captured a coyote this week. Wow. So it sounds like Lorna had some really fun adventures. And I love seeing your family and hearing the stories behind what happened this week. So funny. And Disney World, I'm like 15 minutes away from there. I think I've had 3 family members who've worked at Disney. 4, actually. 4. No, 5. 5. 5 of us have worked at Disney since I've been living in Florida for the last Mm, 16 years? Wait. Yeah, 16. Okay, so nice notes. And then we're going to go back and look at your folder. And there's your boys. Sorry, I'm eating supper at the same time. Okay, and we get to see you. There's Lorna with her baby. Okay, let's go to Lorna. And so, let's see. This was the original. And this one is edited. Okay, so I still think you got pretty close to the coyote. I kind of like this image. I don't know. It seems a little bit bright. So you're losing a little bit of detail. But once you start shooting raw, I mean, we can make this little guy come out with a selection brush. And so that's something that we'll talk about in weeks to come. But I'm kind of fascinated by the railroad tracks. I mean, look at how they're not perfect, are they? And great sighting. Okay, and then we've got this image of the boys. Is he wearing Crocs? Oh my gosh, they're so popular here, the kids. Ah, so it does look like you did selective highlighting here to make your little boy shine. Yeah, definitely. So I can see your focal point. We've got leading lines and these cool patterns, and the colors are beautiful. The only thing I would do differently is I would straighten this horizon. Okay, and then there's your truck stuck in the mud. This is funny to me because when I first moved here, where we live now, it was next to like this old mud road, not paved, and it led up to a farm. And now the road is paved, and there's a huge development back there, and like, oh my gosh, development's everywhere. But anyway, memories. And then this one, very much brighter, very much sharper. However, I do think it's a little bit overdone. To be honest, I would go like in between those two. And then here's your cut and paste, which is adorable. Baby boy, we're back at Disney. You know what? This reminds me of a picture of me and my little son, who's 31 now. Me holding my baby boy at Disney World before we moved to Florida. So, really cute. Great job. Nice edit. I really couldn't tell, honestly. Okay, let's see who's next. No. No. I hate when I hit things like that by accident. All right. Okay, so next person is Joshua. Right? Okay, so I've got Danielle. that Joshua? So now they're all rearranged. Oh, I hate that. I didn't get Angela yet. You know, it's funny that you said you got your little list of quick trip to Paris. My husband and I went to Paris this past summer, and we saved for 18 years. And we went just the two of us, and it was so romantic. Saw the Eiffel Tower, went to the Louvre, got pictures with Mona Lisa, and that was way more exciting than I expected. And the Arc de Triomphe. So, yeah, we had a great time. So we're just going to scroll down through. Oh, this baby. And here, cut and paste. Well, Madison gave you some feedback. I'm losing my voice. It happens by the end of the day. All right, let's look at your folder, Angela. Okay, so this was the original. This is the edit. For me, this whole little thumb is really bizarre. It's just one of those weird things that kind of stands out to me. And the position of your daughter is also, it's kind of out there. You know, it's like a leg next to an arm, but I mean, she's adorable. I love seeing her red, and I know you're a redhead too, I think. And have you heard that redheads are dying out? I don't know. I saw an article in National Geographic about that. So for me, this is too yellow. I like the original a little bit better. So I think I would have just focused on clarity and maybe contrast rather than saturation. And then this one, oh my gosh, so cute. I love it. She's a little actress. And then this one, you moved her over to the rule of thirds, I see. But honestly, I like this one better. We've got like leading lines up to her. We've got some asymmetry. The colors are really, really saturated already. So this one looks a little bit too yellow to me. So again, I think I would just focus on clarity and contrast. And then, so the original here, I wonder who's playing Stalker. Is that your daughter as well? So we've got artificial light, definitely. And that's what's making the field so bright. And then this I do feel as well is a little bit overdone. So I would go back to the original. I might even desaturate the greens because it seems a little bit unnatural. I love the glow. And I mean, maybe even you could do a crop with just this area here. So we can see a little bit more detail. And then there's your baby at the Eiffel Tower. I was there. So this is really cute and seamlessly done. And I appreciate the crop so we can see her a little bit better. Look at that little shadow you got. Oh my goodness, that's excellent. So great job, Angela. Great, great, great. And just got a couple to go. Katie. So Katie. And so Piper. Oh, your best friend's daughter. Okay. All right, let's look at your folder. And let's look at your images. So I believe this one is a before. This one is the before. Oops. This before. This one is the after. Okay, so you crop that, change the location, and I think that that's a really good edit. Very nice observation to rule of thirds. Okay, very pretty. And I see you cropping to a square and doing everything that way, so that's really brilliant. Okay, and then this one is before, this one's after, and wow, look at those blacks. Really highlights the sign. So I think this one is also a very good edit. And then we've got this one. So it looks like this is the original. This one has greater clarity, saturation, and yeah, I think this is a great edit. And then you've got Little Miss Headland. Let me see. This is a PNG. I want to look at that. I swear to God, when I first looked at it, it was not cropped like this. But I think that's an adorable photo. Very bright. I think I would increase the contrast and increase the blacks and the shadows if you could do that in a camera raw filter. So we've got a little bit more shadow and shading. This is cute. This little star here. Oh. And then this one, oh my goodness, look at her missing teeth. That is gorgeous. So this is a really nice poster effect. Oh, and I see you inserted your name brand there. So beautiful. Great job, Katie. Well done. And then I think our last person is, let me see if there is a last person. I don't think I did. Did I do Madison? Let me see Madison's folder here. No, we didn't do Madison. Okay, Madison. I really appreciate how you straightened the verticals in this photo. That looks excellent. Great. So that's something that's important when you're shooting architecture. And then this one as well. I think what you did was straighten the horizon. So this one for me really works. You could also look at straightening the lamppost, but maybe that lamppost is just crooked. But this is a nice edit too. This one very nice and straight. Great work, nice edit. This one I'm on the fence about. It feels like you reduced the contrast, or yeah, it's just it's lost the contrast from the original image. And even though we see more detail on the subject, there's just a loss of clarity. So I think I would go back to the original and try and increase the clarity, maybe the saturation, and then you could do like a selection brush in Camera Raw filter, where you just go over the statue itself and bring back some of the clarity. It's worth a try. And then this one is your cut and paste. And I am so pleased with this image, Madison. Wow. So you had me at the self-portrait, but this is beautiful. So we're seeing all the colors in your shirt echoed in the background. Oh, gorgeous clarity, saturation. This is a beautiful photo. This is a keeper. Self-portrait. Definitely for your final portfolio. All right, everybody. I hope I didn't miss anyone. And I will talk to you all again soon. Oh, geez, I'm a mess. I had to ride with the windows down today and kind of sweated out because my car died. But anyway, great work so far. I'm so pleased, and hopefully you'll respond to my feedback. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.